everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to these videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Sita One. You can find daily posts of the tarot cards on Instagram and the weekly tarot readings on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Sita One. My name is Sita. I'm an intuitive astrologer and psychic tarot reader, and I'm here to share with you my interpretation of the upcoming energies from the week from October and September 25th to October 1st. We're going to start the week with a new moon in Libra. So this new moon will oppose Jupiter. So Jupiter is in Aries, the fire sign, and Jupiter wants to expand everything it touches. It's about the law, it's about spirituality, it's about being adventurous. And Libra, the moon is in Libra, the sun is in Libra, and it wants to, the sun and moon together, actually, it's a new moon. It wants to balance things, to be diplomatic, to listen to both sides, which is great. But they're opposing energies, so it creates tension. So when Jupiter wants to just go out there, and it's in Aries, get things done, the new moon is saying, no, I think we need to discuss, to see what other people are choosing, to understand their point of view before we make our decision. Now, Libra can be a bit of a fence sitter, so it might be difficult to get a decision done, but Jupiter will help to do that because it's in Aries and it's about the self, it's about moving forward with a lot of intensity, it's that fire energy. So that's going to be the tension between the opposites here, and it's something to think about as you are negotiating anything with other people. Could be in business, could be personal, it could even be within yourself. You want to go out and get it done, and there's another part of you, the energies are saying no, you need to temper that a bit. Now the new moon is at 5 p.m. And which is really significant. This is about karma, this is about knowledge, intuition. So think about that as you're trying to move through your choices. New moons are a beginning of a cycle, and so you're working on something to do, a lot to do with relationship and how you negotiate your relationships and your reactions to others in relationship. So that's the focus of this, and I'm bringing up the numbers because I know I've been seeing a lot of double, triple numbers the last few months, and I think the angelic forces are really speaking to us and telling us through those numbers, giving us guidance through those numbers. So with this, just remember, with this aspect, you are tempted to make things happen now, but they can't happen now because Libra's involved. So you choose your battles carefully. That's good advice generally, but in this new moon, this is what you're learning. It's a learning cycle. And then you choose how to initiate this cycle in your life by looking at your relationships and where they need attention. Now, the one thing that's happening is Mercury, the sun and Mercury meet at some point, and that means that the retrograde is not as intense. You know, other astrologers will talk about Kazemi points and all those kind of things, but I always feel that once the sun meets Mercury, it kind of dissipates some of this slow energy, and it's going to move into direct mode next October 2nd. So that doesn't mean we're not out of the shadow, but you know, these are the points where you can look and see, okay, is something moving forward? Oh, I actually heard back from that person. That's what you're going to see maybe this weekend, Sunday around that time, or next week when Mercury moves direct, but it still stays in shadow period for up to 2 weeks. The other thing that will happen is Mercury will oppose Jupiter at that point too. So Mercury is having a little bit of a journey here with us. It trines Pluto. So Mercury is the only planet, the only god who could go into the underworld and get messages. And when it trines Pluto, it's a very kind of investigative, it's about being precise, getting information, and it's a good energy, it's a supportive energy. So perhaps it will work into your negotiations, that you needed more information, and that's why the delay was good, and now you can start initiating things. We're still in a lot of retrogrades, a lot of planets are retrograde, so that doesn't mean things will come up fast. But the retrogrades are always good because they seem to bring about a gift at the end of their cycle when the planets start moving direct, and because you've had that time to reflect, to review, to look at things from a different perspective. So that's always good. Now by Tuesday we're seeing Mars trine Saturn, so this is a good time for organization, and I think this fits in with it too. Organize those ideas, write them down, see how your approach is. Retrograde is great for that, for editing. And also you're moving into a void course moon, which is, in my opinion, there's certain things you shouldn't do on a void of course moon, but I always find I get my best work done then. So by the afternoon you will be in a place all afternoon into the evening. If you're doing that reviewing and editing, and certainly Mars is supporting that with a trine to Saturn, then this is a good time to get it done. As we move along, then Venus moves into Libra, so more cooperation. Venus, wants harmony and love and all those wonderful qualities. And so in Libra, it's asking us to make sure that we negotiate well and that we think about other people and have compassion for others. As we move into Saturday, then we'll see Mercury stationing to go direct. So it goes direct on Sunday in the morning. And like I said, it doesn't mean that things will just miraculously, the roadblocks will be removed, but you may find some kind of messages around that time. And think about when Mercury started its retrograde and now, and if you know your chart, as Mercury moves over some planets and goes back again, it's showing that it's a development of an idea or of a way of thinking, about your process, your thinking process, how you strategize. It's all Mercury, right, stuff. So think about that. If you're Virgo, you might have the Sun there, and Mercury goes back and forth, and by the time it makes its last pass, as it goes direct, it's showing that you have taken some idea, you worked out some issue or challenge, and you brought it into awareness, consciousness. So, like I said, it's an interesting week, but it's a lot of supportiveness in negotiation and discussions with others. So we're thinking about others now, and even though the energies of Jupiter is really strong, we have other supportive aspects like Mercury trine Pluto and Mars trine Saturn that are helping us in this whole process. So we need to move slowly and take our time. With the earth signs, it's like taking your time. Mars, I know, is a little forceful. Normally Saturn doesn't really admire Mars because of its aggressiveness, but in this trine situation where the energy flow is nicer, and that's why it's good for organizing, because Mars wants to move forward, gets things done, and Saturn wants you to slow down and look at the big picture and think about your karma and what effect these decisions are making on your karma. Now, just to remind you that Geminis are going through a stage where Mars is in your sign, and it's a very long transit. It's going to go retrograde, I think, at the end of October. I'll have to check that out next time we talk. And so just remember that, and it's a time to slow down, though you might find that you have energy to do things that are more focused, which is great. So it's a great time to get things done, but don't push yourself too hard. You can find these videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Sita One. Don't forget to look for the weekly tarot on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at the Sita One, and daily posts of the tarot cards on Instagram, and to like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. So this week, I'll remind you that we are all beings of awareness, and we're living through a physical world, so our awareness can become more conscious of growth and spiritual growth. So all your experiences, that's why free will comes into the equation. All your experiences, your actions lead your awareness into that growth, and it's through that awareness, as you pass on to the next life or into spirit, you bring all that knowledge with you for your next lifetime, or just to share with others collectively. So remember to take care of yourself